Hello, hello. My name is Samaya,
And I'm Imani.
and we are
The
Terrible
Terrible
Twos. Okay, we're here, two mics, two women, no filter, bringing you the raw, the sweet, and the spicy tea. So today, what we are going to be talking about is the government shutdown.
Ooh.
Yeah, as you know, it has been 36 days?
Yeah.
This has been now the longest shutdown under the Trump's presidency. As you know, the first term that Donald Trump had, it was also the longest too, but now this had been taken over. So as you know, millions of people, roughly over 40 million people, have been removed from SNAP benefits. And now federal workers are now not receiving any pay. As you can see, if you go to your airports, TSA, a lot of them are no longer really there. So we are here to talk about what is going on. We have some concerns. We definitely have some questions. And we want to talk about what to do, how to really get down to the nitty gritty in regards to this government shutdown. So, how do you feel about this, friend? How do you
This
feel about
is ghetto. This is ghetto. I can't believe this is actually, I think, if I'm not mistaken, this is the first time that SNAP benefits have been targeted in this capacity and has been affecting so many people in this manner. However, am I surprised? No. Surprise is not the word I would use.
Yeah.
I will say one thing that the man said he was going to do make some changes, and this has been the longest year of my life. This has been the longest year of my life. No, I feel like we are already 3 years in. Since the man touched down in the White House, I think we've experienced great change in all manners. On the micro level, on the macro level, the meso level. The individuals being impacted, families, governments, corporations, businesses, we're all feeling it. Some positive, a lot of negative. How has this been?
It has been definitely ghetto. It got to the point where the federal judge is trying to force the Trump administration to at least give some funding to the SNAP benefits. And that's ridiculous. Now that we have a federal judge now forcing the administration to do this funding, and the emergency funding at that, to at least help some of, not all, but some people when it comes to the SNAP benefits. And it's quite scary, especially due to the fact that this man have definitely given Argentina millions and millions of dollars to help aid them, right? This man just hosted not too long ago a party.
And the White House is undergoing a renovation. Ballroom.
Is true. Over $200 million.
Where? Whose money?
That's the real question. Whose
money? Who's paying?
Is it my money?
Is it me? Because I don't got it. Do you got it? Because I don't got it. I don't got it.
We ain't got it.
This episode is called We Ain't Got It. Okay? I don't got it. She don't got it. I don't think we got it.
That is true.
So who got it is the question.
It sucks because it's like all this money is not going towards what is really needed, right? There are people out here, children out here that are definitely hungry. The homelessness, the crisis that within that is something that needs to be talked about and focused on. There's so many issues in this country that our president is not really taking care of. And yet we still have to deal with this government shutdown. Now major airports are definitely dealing with delays and canceled flights. So it's looking kind of really shaky and very questionable, especially when the holidays are coming up. How are people are going to visit their families if the airlines are having delays and canceled? There's no TSA. How are people going to feed their families knowing that there are millions of people that are out of SNAP benefits, right? And then something that we have to kind of take in consideration, like as a group, as a whole, what are we doing to go against this, right? Because this is an issue that we have been dealing with for quite some time now, right? Where we are dealing with constant issues within our country, right? And as much as I am on social media, I see a lot of people complaining, but yet we are not doing enough to really go against our government. And, you know, I know as of recently, not too long ago, there was the King protest where millions of people was coming together to protest in regards to what's happening, especially with Trump and his administration. But how much can we protest in order to see a change? And that is something that I often question, because this is a problem that we have been facing for so long. And we can protest for so long, but is that really getting us anywhere, despite of what's happening, especially with this inflation that's going on? Things are being increased, whether it's rent, whether it's groceries. People are living paycheck to paycheck every day. And yet, what are we doing to change that besides being on social media, sharing our opinions? What we should be doing is being actively outside, trying to tell and show the government, like, this is something that we need to focus on.
Something that I wanted to point out that, looking at the statistics, I found it was important to not only talk about the truth, but to debunk stereotypes of communities. So especially when we're talking about SNAP benefits, or some may know it as EBT, food stamps. When you look at the demographics whom are actually participating, receiving, or benefiting from SNAP, I think it's important that as a whole we understand the ideas of the welfare queen, you know, the stereotypes of black mothers are, you know, being lazy, they're not wanting to work, can't be completely true when we are considered the minorities of this country. They're also poor Caucasians as much as there are poor blacks. And so while you were talking, I decided to go look it up on Google under the Food Research and Action Center. To discuss the demographics of who participates from SNAP, who's being impacted from this. About 35 to 37% members that are participating in SNAP are white, Caucasian individuals, families. 26 is about African American / Black. About 16% are Hispanic individuals of any specific race. 4% Asian, and about 1 to 2% Native American. So when I'm online and I'm watching the news and I'm hearing people from all demographics discuss and make it seem like our communities are benefiting so greatly from this and we're not doing our best to make our own way, it's kind of like, well, we can't all be the welfare queens when we're only 26% who's actually receiving SNAP benefits, you know? And I would love for people to understand that it's not about race. In this state of our government, it's about the poor and the rich. It doesn't matter what color you're, black, purple, yellow, green. If you are not part of the 5% or the 3%, they're not here to advocate for you. They're not here to provide much services, because them servicing you takes from their pocket. Okay, so I wanted to point that out. So I think what happens is, and what continues to go on since history's time, is that they find a way to divide us. If it's not by race, it's about class. They are finding ways, and we fall into the same system, or the same, I guess I would say, traps, every cycle, every generation, every year, every month. They're not changing anything. Nothing's new. They're using the same old tactics from the same old book, and we keep falling into it. And it's like, okay, now that we're here, we have white families, black families, Asian families being impacted by the government shutdown, by January 6th, by removing majority of the black members from our high government places and statuses. It's not about color now. It is not. It is not. It is about who can afford it, who is in their race, they can benefit from, and who cannot. And if you cannot help them get their pockets big, you are being cut. Okay, we're being cut.
That is true. Do you believe that when it comes to media, do you believe like certain outlets, let's say for like CNN, the New York Times, the New York Post, Fox News, do you think they are spreading propaganda to market certain things to a certain demographic?
When you say things, what are you, like, give me something in mind, because the answer is always going to be yes, right? Our media, from time, media has been the way, as our government has used to get out information, incorrect or correct. They frame and they lie. I'm sorry, I was trying to find another word, but lie. They frame and they lie. And they create these messages, whether it's rooted in fear, it's rooted in trauma, it's rooted in bigotry, it's rooted in prejudices, it's discrimination, and they put it out there because they know we're watching. And now we don't only have TVs in our homes, we have them on the go. And so each channel, as you're stating, they have their own demographics and their own audiences. So the answer is yes, but I would like to know what specifically are you referring to? Like,
it could be anything. Like, for example, the government shutdown, especially we could talk about welfare, right? Who is on welfare? Especially the quote unquote the welfare queen. Do you believe that, media portrays certain minorities a different picture compared to, other people? It's something that I do agree on too. Because they often paint certain demographics horrible, even though it's not true, but yet they're still painting a picture in this narrative to kind of definitely do divide us even more. And that is something that should really be discussed. Like, why has media always played a part of trying to contribute to this separation amongst all of us, especially when it comes to minorities and things like that? What is the real message, the meaning behind that? That's something that I would like to question.
To divide. Divide. That's
to divide, but it's just like, but why though? Why? When we're supposed to be called the United States, united.
Nothing is united except for those SNAP benefits. That's what kept us united, and now they're gone. So, no, I definitely believe, in my head, the way I picture it and how I articulate it to, especially our younger generation, is, think about it, there's a book full of tactics of how do we stay in power, how do we conquer? Yeah. And they have multiple tactics. How do we get to the people? How do we reach the people? How do we get them to believe us? We've already have been conditioned to trust in our government, right? It's on our money, okay? Even though it says trust in God, but I don't think God would be happy about what's been happening on this God-forsaken earth. And so the best way, even when we're going back to like minstrels, we're going back to how they depicted enslaved Africans. I mean, watermelon, cotton picking, fried chicken eating. I mean, and that's only like the little speckle of it. It is to, once you get to the people there, they trust you, they're listening, their eyes are open, their ears are open, they're feeding the information that they're getting to set this propaganda. They want to control us. And they're going to do by any means necessary. If it's not through media, it's through food. If it's not through food, it's everywhere. But I think the main goal is they benefit more from us having this misinformation and rooted in fear, rooted in misogyny, rooted in all the E's, okay? They profit more from us when we are divided than we are together. Because now we're together, now we're outside, we're protesting. And now we're demanding our SNAP benefits. Now we're demanding that we have just a month to ourselves dedicated to our culture that they stole, that they hid and lied from us. When we come together, we make them small. And I think that's the goal. If we feel like we are powerless, then we are not going to act. And that's how they get our communities so much. Our communities is been oversaturated with the idea that we are powerless. And when you are powerless, you start to behave so. You start to manifest that life so. And now we're not protesting, we're not picketing, we're not demanding, we're not going to our town hall meetings, we're not voting. We're not electing anyone that looks like us, feels like us, thinks like us, that will support and advocate for us because we have no power. And that shifts all the power that's invested in us all the way to the other side of the table. And then they just collect it. And then we remain fearful. And then they build off of that. This system was created to work exactly the way it is. It is for us to remain small that's what they want us to believe, so they can continue to profit off of us. And once we flip that narrative, I think there's a lot of movies and books that shows us what happens when the people decide to stand together and go against the people that are causing our grief. They don't want that. They probably didn't want us to talk about it right now, right? Target on our backs. Because
it's at the beginning.
It is. Once you have misinformation or you don't have the information, you're unable to make decisions. Yeah. And if you're unable to make decisions, you're not making the said decisions. So someone's going to make the decisions for you. And I think that's how we ended up here time and time again, which is why I can't believe he got a second term. I don't understand. All the people that I spoke to and I said he's a great businessman. Okay, I don't trust him as an individual. You know who you are, actually. I had this conversation at we have our own little community gathering called Real Talk. And one day you weren't there, but there was this young man there and he explained his position. And he said, I don't trust him morally. I don't trust him as a person, but as a businessman, I believe he'll do what it will take to get the working man a higher X, Y, and Z. And I was flabbergasted. My flabber was gasted because I'm like, businessman where? I'm looking for the businessman. I'm looking for him. I don't see it. And now that he's here a second term, are we happy? I want to know. If you remember this conversation with me, sir, I would love for you. I can't wait. We need a dial phones, people can call in, and I would love for you to come back and reach to me and tell me if you're happy with your children and your woman at home and the businesses that you were trying to create. I would love to know because it's I'm a single individual and I'm feeling it all in my pockets, my mind, my spirit is feeling it. I can only imagine if you had kids, a wife, a husband, families, grandchildren. I can't believe what this would feel like, especially if you are also getting by receiving government benefits. To the people that got more than 4 kids and they're receiving SNAP benefits and they need it. They're working, but it's still not enough. Where are, what is, I know there's community resources, pantries, check out your local pantries and your communities, but that's not enough. That's why we have pantries. Because what the government set up for us, what our community is not enough.
Yeah. That I definitely do agree on. Me, I'm always asking questions. And of course, I will also piggyback. Do you think the protests that we are having are very effective.
You know, I'd never think. Let me hold on. Oop. You know, they have not been working recently, and I do feel like even though we've documented the protesting that we've had in the past that has allowed us to have our rights and freedoms now, especially as Black and women, I don't think they've ever really worked. Like they worked for, it's like they all had like expiration dates, right?
Yeah.
They worked to get us to something that locks us in, a law or something that's passed that says, yay, you can't discriminate against us. Yay, we just want civil rights. Yay, now we get to work as women. Yay, now I get to love openly whomever it is that I want. But it's like now we're in 2025 and all those things that we protested in the past are now being uprooted, tossed out. So I don't know. I question everything. What do you, especially with is it No Kings?
Yes.
The No Kings protest has been going on. I love to see it, but then it's like that one day is not enough. We can't just do it one day. We need to be tiring us out. We need to be tiring them out. This needs to be a prolonged thing. What do you think?
You know, do you really want to know what I think?
I do.
I would definitely agree. I think when it comes to recent times, as much as we are protesting, I feel like it's not enough. It started to become very ineffective. And, you know, when I am looking at the news and I'm seeing other countries protesting, but the way that they're protesting compared to how we are protesting in the United States is totally different things. If we are looking at France and the way how they are protesting, they are not just having all of these posters that they're having in their hand, they're doing more than that, right? If we're looking at other countries, I question about the way we protest and do things. Are we doing enough?
Are we?
Are we? You know, so the fact that I'm seeing other countries really stepping down and doubling down on ways that they want to change their government. And then I look here in the United States and I'm like, we look like immatures compared to other countries, especially European countries or even Asian countries. I feel like we really need to strap up our boots, right? And I think we need to really start being serious and stop being so complacent. Everyone is aware of the problem, but what are you doing as an individual to fix the problem, right? Are you coming up and putting yourself in communities that is working towards a solution to fix these problems? Or are you just on social media and just complaining about these problems? And yet we are still getting nowhere. And I think what we should really focus on is how can we come together as a whole to combat and to go against what is happening today, rather than having, you know, a sign saying, I can't do this no more. You know, we need this, we need that. I think we need more than posters to really challenge the government, to challenge the administration. We need to do more than that. And I truly believe that if we need to revisit the history books, I'm sorry, let's go back to the 1700s about the Boston Tea Party, right?
Talk about it.
You know what happened? They dumped all that tea right into the ocean. Why? Because they got tired of the British and their taxes.
And I'm tired of the taxes right now. The American taxes, I'm tired of it. I want my taxes to feed the families of the United States. I want my taxes to fix my individual community. I want my taxes to go on South Pearl Street And I want more businesses. I want less abandoned housings. I don't want my taxes to be used to decorate and to create a ballroom. I will not have the opportunity to, well, hopefully we do have the opportunity to go see the ballroom.
Nope.
Invited. We want to be invited.
They
may not like it.
They're not
I
gonna
know.
invite us.
After they hear this.
No, they're using our taxes for war.
Like, who said that? Who said I don't want to go to war?
Funding other countries.
Because where did they get the $40 million from? I thought we were in debt.
Oh,
Aren't we? And we
Trillions.
are.
Trillions of debt.
I'm confused. I'm so confused. And so it's frustrating. Mm-hmm. It's frustrating being raised in complacency.
Yes.
It's frustrating when it feels like it's being brewed in your streets, your schools, your work, right? We have been conditioned to be complacent, to just take what's being given to us. And not in the sense of, nope, actually in the sense of everything. Like, it's frustrating because now it's like we're not progressing in the way that I think we are. Right? We're progressing in all these ways that I feel like we need to slow down, like technology, slow down. Yes. Slow down. We are still arguing about is therapy worth it, you know? Like, oh my gosh. So that was a good point that you mentioned. I'm flabber. My flabber has been gasted with this country. And we can't do it by ourselves. You know, our seasoned elders, they did what they could do with the time that they had, and now it's our generation to pick up where they left off and carry the torch. And for some reason why, and maybe we could talk about it a little bit deeper in our next segment, but why is our generation so afraid to change what's been given to us, passed down from our elders, and making it our own so we can actually get down to the nitty gritty and make the changes that affects us, right? Because each generation has their different needs and wants. And I feel like we're still kind of like dealing with the baby boomers. Like, all of this is what they want. Is this what they wanted? Not really. I mean, but I feel like we're still, we're the millennials. I feel like I'm not. Where's the change that we get from them? I don't know. Maybe we could talk about that a little bit more next time. This was great. This was needed.
Yes.
You know.
I agree. It definitely was needed. And of course, we can continuously go on and on about this segment and go even deeper about the government and, you know, the poor versus the rich. How can we better our community? How can we better ourselves as an individual to go against these problems that we are facing every day? So hopefully during our next segment, we can definitely go deeper and talk about what's going on, rather it's across the country or just here in Albany. There's definitely some important topics that need to be discussed. And hopefully, you know, we will definitely be back.
This is the Terrible 2's, and we are signing off.